G'day Internet, my name is Craig and I'd like to welcome you to my PC gaming life. Today on Indie Corner, I'm going to take a look at a little business sim game called Game Dev Tycoon by Greenheart Games. So to get myself started, I'm going to throw in a name for my new games company. My name, and I can change my appearance for what that's worth. Now this is my second playthrough, so I have the option of having the game remember some of the lessons I learned previously, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so we start off by creating our first game. To start that, we'll pick a topic for our game. Well, of those, we'll start with alternate history, I think. Next we'll choose a genre for our game. For our alternate history game, I think we'll go adventure. And then we'll pick the platform for the game. I'm going to stay true to myself and go with the PC. I have a feeling the G64 may not be here for the long haul. And of course we'll need a name for our game. Let's go with Heroes of Rome. And finally we'll decide on the graphics for the game. Let's go for some basic 2D graphics. And then start. Okay, the next few stages of making a game are done with these sliders. We need to decide how much of our time and budget we want to dedicate to different aspects of development. So let's maximize story quests and minimize the game engine. Then our little avatar gets to work. And you can see his progress with the little bubbles that go up into our design and technology totals. There's also research points being generated, which we'll talk about shortly. We adjust some more sliders. And back to work. You'll also notice that as we program away, we're also generating bugs, which we'll need to fix up before we release the game. More sliders. On the side there are some special features which we can turn on or off to adjust the cost of the game. I've never really seen much point in turning any of them off unless they're obsolete. Working. You can see our overall progress on the blue bar in the middle. And then we're finished. But we'll want to get rid of those bugs before we finish for good. Next we gain some experience based on what we worked on for this particular game. Gradually we'll level up the different areas so we make better games. Finally we make the decision to release the game. And then come the reviews. We see what the magazines have to say about our game, which is a fair indication of how well it's going to sell. And that was a pretty meh start. Now, after we release each game, we'll want to take the time to do a game report for our new game. This will give you some advice for future games which you'll get tired of seeing after a while. But more importantly, it'll generate more research points. So, what do we do with the research? Funnily enough, we research stuff. In this case, I think we really need some better topics for our games, so we'll pick new topic, which will cost us 10 research points. And then let's go with UFO. We start our research and wait for the blue bar above our head to fill up. And now we have a new topic for our games. Okay, it's a little later, and we've just researched casual games. Time for a new game. Let's make a casual virtual pet game. So some more familiar platforms have entered the market. Let's go with the Game Link, for which we'll need a developer's license. And you'll note I now have my own game engine. More on that later. Now for a name. My Pet, all one word, sounds original. And let's put a Z on there just to be cool for the kids. I've researched marketing, so I can now target my games at particular audiences. Let's go young people. We've now finished. We can hold off on finishing for a while to eke out the last few design and tech points. A new record for design is always nice. Then we get some more experience. And release the game. And then the reviews. And I've finally got a hit on my hands. Sadly not perfect on the reviews, but the money should still come rolling in. While we're waiting, we'll do our game report. And the game is doing very nicely. Okay, we've made enough money to get out of Mum and Dad's garage, so I think we should do just that. And here's our new digs, much nicer. Alrighty, it's a bit later in the game. I have a couple of employees and I can now make medium-sized games, which changes things a little bit. As you can see, this bit is much the same. Now, what I think the world is crying out for right now is an action martial arts game. But after a long decade of karate and kung fu games, I think I'll go with something a bit different. Okay, so we still have the sliders to slide, but now we need to assign different people to the various tasks. We also need to manage the workload of our employees, so that nobody is getting overworked, which I guess degrades their performance or something. Okay, I mentioned you can develop new game engines before, so I'll take a very quick look at that. From our menu we select Create Custom Engine. We can name our engine, and then select what technology we want to include in it. These are all things that I previously researched, and generally I just throw everything in. After that, the team gets to work. Later in the game, you also have the chance to add on an R&D department and a hardware department. You can use these to research some bigger projects. Here I'm doing a big marketing campaign for my AAA game. Marketing, which I haven't really covered here, builds hype for your games, which increases sales. So that's Game Dev Tycoon. All up, I spent about 20 hours actually playing the game, and that was going through the whole 35-year campaign twice, which was almost 50 games each time. I enjoyed it on the second run through, although it was certainly feeling quite repetitive by the end. For old school gamers like myself, it's certainly interesting to go through the history of computer gaming. There are some achievements which are nods to classic games over the years, which are fun to discover. Now, Game Dev Tycoon is currently priced at $10 on Steam, but I've seen it go on sale a number of times. I paid about $4 or $5, and I think I got my money's worth in entertainment. But I'll warn you now, if you found the process a bit repetitive in this video, then this probably isn't a game for you. So that's it for today's Indie Corner. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave a comment below, click on the like thumb and subscribe to the channel. You can also let me know what other indie games you think I should be checking out below or via Twitter. Until next time, keep gaming.